announcement where they're like 28, 30 minutes late to do the announcement. We're going to be on time, damn it.
We're live.
Ish.
We're live.
Kind of. We're live. It says we're live.
Hello,
Yeah.
everyone.
Yeah. Hey, everyone.
Amazing day. Glorious Canada. Finally,
We're all
we
safe.
are safe from American World War II infantry assaults. After 83 years, finally the M1 carbine is banned.
Hey,
It's about time.
it was not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
No. Well, they're going to stretch it out, right? So Tracy
Mm.
said the plan is to go
Yeah.
after the magazine announcement next week because it's very obvious. Look, when they've already copied all the conservatives' homework for the next election, they needed the wedge issue. Guns are going to be the divisive issue between the conservatives and the liberals, right? Because they've stolen everything else.
Yeah.
Plus Mark Carney
So
gets
for
it
people
Sunday.
tuning in, there's a gun ban announced today.
Yep.
Yay.
They said that they were going to so we thought it was going to happen last week. It didn't, and it happened this week instead. Which maybe they moved it. Maybe
Tracy
they were
was right,
talking about it.
despite all the haters on Facebook.
Yeah, it happened. They said 179 more models. SKS is not on the list for everyone's who's going to ask it like a million times during this live stream. The SKS isn't on it.
But
the M1
39
brand
of
isn't
them,
on it.
39 of them are M1 carbines. Though.
39.
Yeah, but
I
wasn't
counted.
there a bunch of like Tomahawk missiles that were on the list too, if I'm not mistaken?
Well, I could pull it up
That's a
here.
model of SVT 40.
There was a bunch of
No,
random
the
nonsense.
Mohawk you guys are thinking.
The
of.
Mohawk.
Yeah, the Mohawk,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's look at
They
it.
didn't get my anti-ship cruise missile, so I'm still good.
No, you can still keep
Duck
those,
hunting.
Dave.
Thank God.
Yeah. All right. So 179 more models. Kate, there was some things that they said in the announcement that they have not released anything in the Gazette for. So I don't know if this is the case right now or not. They said that the firearms without an FRT will not be able to be sold in Canada, but I didn't see anything in the Gazette about this. So they said this. I don't know if it's backed up right now. So this may or may not be true.
I don't know if they can. So, all right. So somebody has already mentioned, was it Joseph here? Mentioned, how can they do this? I thought they couldn't OIC when they're prorogued. Joseph, yes, they can OIC when they're prorogued. There's like more steps though, and I don't know if they can change something like firearms requiring the FRT. I would bet you that might actually require legislation. I will bet you that might actually require the law to be changed in a way that you couldn't just rewrite it with the OIC. I will bet you.
Oh, the FRT, the selling it without a FRT thing. Okay. Yeah.
I will bet you that's a thing that they said and would love. I don't know if that's within the same power as like adjusting the list of banned things, right? Because that's a different regulation.
Change.
Yeah, that's a functional change in the regulation.
Yeah, well, we'll see, because Tony and I were just looking through the Gazette, but we couldn't find any spot that had a language, because they have to change the firearms law to put this in place. So we didn't see that there, because yes, the RCMP can reclassify things in the FRT, but if it's not on the FRT, the police can't
do anything about it. Yeah,
unless they name it. Which they can. They didn't have the Subaru Buttmaster in Canada. It was only in the US. It was only prototype. They still have it in the list. We
we're
don't
gonna
have
one
to have a
in
gun.
Canada. We're gonna have.
What's that?
I said we're gonna have one in Canada. I
Someone
wish
hustling
he was
I don't know
here.
how.
we may or may not know his identity.
Yeah, they extended the amnesty to March of next year, March 1st, 2026.
Oh God, no one's safe after all.
No. And they said that they're looking at changing classifications. So right now we have prohib, restricted, and non-restricted, and they want to put in their own horrible simplified classification.
Yeah,
Everything's banned.
Which is
banned
just
and not
stealing
banned.
more ideas from the conservatives at this point. It's kind of funny if you look at the list of policy bits that the Liberal Party has. There's a lot of crossover with the conservatives right now.
And did you guys see that climate change Barbie there, Catherine McKenna? Did you see that bit where she she declared her support for like an armed Canadian militia and training Canadians to use firearms?
Yeah, you know what? I didn't
is
see
happening?
her. I didn't see her out on stage today. I didn't see her out there, suggesting that. I don't know. I don't know. Like that party is talking out of both sides of their own ass. And it's truly bananas. My favorite word, still hypocrisy. I love that. What was the name of the presenter? I watched the whole thing. I mostly fast forwarded through the BS that she was saying because I only have so much tolerance for it. But anyway, multiple times, These are assault style firearms that are intended for killing the most amount of people in the shortest period of time and have zero, absolutely none, inconceivable that you would even contemplate being able to use them for any civilian purpose. No civilian purpose for any of these guns. However, we haven't banned the SKS, a gun that was made specifically for the World War II battlefield, because
And marketed for Canadian hunters.
and marketed for Canadian
use
hunters,
has
and
been
our
evilized or something.
well, no, but here's the thing. Aboriginal folk from coast to coast to coast use those for subsistence hunting. So they found a civilian use for that one. So we're not going to ban it right now because we can't afford to lose the Aboriginal vote in the next election and have it all go to the Conservative.
A civilian use that is currently politically correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But only if you have the right color skin and heritage background.
Yeah.
Like that is
Special card, maybe?
Proper bloodline.
Indeed. Let's go to the list. So we
Let's.
talked about what's not on it. Let's talk about what's on it. We mentioned the M1 carbine and variants.
Yep.
Those
39.
are yeah, there's a whole I'd imagine when this gets to the Gazette, it's going to be M1 carbine and variants. They've named them all for this list,
Which is
but
ridiculous. They
yeah,
just do
they're-
that to pump
it's
up the
gonna-
numbers, right?
Of
Look at all
course.
these guns we banned. Okay.
well, they all have individual entries in the FRT. So technically, if you want to do an FRT banning, you have to put them all on there. You can't just say, M1s, M1 what? And I mean, one thing that Ian Runkle of the Bailey was saying was that some of them were just M1, and he's like, I bet you they're going to aim for M1 and variants, any M1 carbine or Garand.
That's what they've done before, yeah. But they didn't specifically say anything about the Grand, so that's okay, which is weird.
Well, the M1
Yeah.
carbine is mag fed, so maybe that's why
Well-
they've got a bug in their bonnet about it.
well, detachable mag fed. Technically,
Yes,
so is
detachable.
the Garand, but
No detachable mag on the Garand.
no,
though. It's
apparently
clip-fed.
internal magazines are
Self-ejecting, though.
okay.
Mhm,
Like,
mhm.
8-round internal magazines.
yeah.
Toaster is somehow okay.
What else is on this list here? The Turkish bullpup shotguns, FD12, Canuck Spectre, Ranger bullpup. They got them all.
All your
Dave's-
3-gun shotguns.
Yeah,
Now my three-gun
one of my
shotgun.
buddies who was just actually was sharing yesterday, maybe the day yesterday, I think he shared on Facebook. He's like, I'm all kitted up, ready for the 3-gun match on Saturday. And one of his shotguns was the bullpup.
And then there's our safety minister going, oh, yeah, I think so, do you?
Sorry, that's even though it's a shotgun, that's made to kill
Military
people. That's
assault rifle
that's not made
only
for
purpose is to belong on the
3-gun.
battlefield.
yeah. The Chiappa M19, which I guess is kind of an M1
Okay, I
carbine
need to
looking
interject
thing.
here. The M122, the 22 variant of that is also banned. So just
Yeah,
pay
of course.
attention to that, everything.
Mhm.
22 was made for the battlefield.
One out of the 3 PCC gamer guns on the market currently is dead. The Homesteader made it through
For
with
now.
FRT, and the R9 made it through
Maybe.
without a FRT. We don't know
Maybe.
yet.
We don't know yet. We need to see the Gazette to know that.
Yeah.
Maybe it got through. There was the AG-42, Egyptian Rashid, VZ-52. There's a bunch of World War II semi-auto rifles.
Battle
Not all of
rifles,
them.
Yeah.
Not all
No,
of them.
but a lot of them.
No.
There are a lot of them though. There's a bunch of weird and wonderful semi-auto World War II rifles, and then the SVT-40 and Global
Yeah.
Mohawk and all the things that were based on that. The Mohawk was a 303 version of the SVT-40 that was also sporterized is a kind word, but
Didn't butcher it.
mangled. Yeah.
Yeah.
SVT-40 $1,600 rifle.
It was not $1,600 when I bought it.
Neither for me.
Oh.
Ooh, when I bought it.
I know. I was gonna say. I think I
$100.
paid $400 for mine.
Yeah.
I haven't shot it in a decade, so whoops.
Yeah, well, actually, you can still shoot it.
No,
You can.
I can, but I have to go rent a government approved range for that. I can't even
Mhm.
shoot it anywhere. So
All right, what else we got on here? There's a couple of other weird things on here. Breda 1918.
yeah,
There's our FD12 versions of that. Breda PG.
did they?
I'm not sure
Oh,
which one that is.
I gotta look this. There's one gun I gotta look up and see.
Citadel and Chiappa, which are going to do the same thing.
So I think that the Beretta is actually the
There's a
oldest
Rashid.
one I could find on the list because that is 1918. So that gun is over 100 years old, and thank God we're finally safe.
We've been in danger all this time.
I know. What have the liberals been doing? Awful.
Like,
Just didn't know it.
letting
What's
100-year-old
the?
technology.
Oh my!
Wait, is this thing supposed to be legal? Isn't this like the automatic
Oh.
thing?
Oh, I've
It's
yeah,
a
I've seen
Carcano,
that.
but it's mag fed.
Yeah, they made a semi-auto.
That's a
version.
Carcano. Huh.
Yep. Semi-auto.
Neat.
Maybe it's just a Carcano stock. You don't know. These are wartime production, I'm assuming.
Yeah,
Well
there's
done.
not a lot of these things in Canada. But if I owned one, I'd be cheesed. It was
Well,
like, you're coming after my 1918.
Yeah, all the two of them that are
Uh,
probably in Canada.
Yeah, some more
Where do you
M1
even find these?
carbines.
Did
So
they
there's
get the? Did they get
French
the?
Oh, they
the-
got the SPR 9. I don't even think these made into the country yet.
Oh,
Oh no.
Too bad.
shitty. Did they
Yeah.
get? Did they get the Winchester 1907?
Oh, the-
Winchester?
Yeah, it was like
The
I don't see it.
sweeper
I didn't
gun.
see
Yeah,
it
yeah,
on
yeah.
there.
Don't see it.
That was the first
Oh.
semi-automatic available to
It-
the public.
Yes, it was. Yes,
Yeah,
it
very
was.
cool little gun.
It's a very
what's
cool
the
gun.
roundest shot? Something Winchester. 40.
like
It's
35
350. It was 351
Yeah,
Winchester or
351.
something like that. I think.
Huh.
Odd caliber, yeah.
Oh,
There's our
there's
Globe
gamer.
firearms. They're in there.
More M1
Frankie.
carbines.
More M1 carbines. Lots and lots of M1 carbines.
Oh, they got the Hotchkiss. Oh no.
also have a
Yeah,
Far
Mauser
Cry
19.
there.
Okay, 1915. Sorry, Dave. There is an older one in here. The Mauser 1915 automatic rifle.
Oh my
Oh
god.
no.
The
The
Mauser
self slaughter.
Silberstadler?
Yeah, right.
It's going to be a bunch of World War II and World War One collectors just throwing their
I'm
hands
sorry,
up now.
all you Battlefield 1 friends out
Yeah.
friends out there. It's this thing was kind of OP back in the day.
I
In that
Yeah,
game,
100.
yep.
15 years ago.
MAS 1928. Mass 28. Oh yeah.
Yep.
yeah,
I thought we
it looks like the
supported
kind of thing that you
Francophones. What
see
did we
on
do?
like the streets of
Oh.
Toronto all the time, right?
They got the Lungerman, I can't pronounce that, but the 6.5 semi-autos that the Rashid's based off of.
Yeah, there's the SVT 38 in 1940, so that's your SVT 40.
Tomahawk G3.
Yeah,
What the hell are
right.
those Tomahawks?
Is that like a G3 or is it not?
No, there wouldn't be any left.
No. What is
Oh,
that?
it's not even coming
It's a
up with anything.
skateboard. Okay.
Well, those are dangerous too.
Or safe from Tony Hawk.
They break legs.
Pro skater.
Universal 1022. No, this has got to be something else. These are, I don't actually even know what these are.
Maybe have more luck searching for one of the.
Why does it say
that one.
30M? Is it a 30mm something?
Universal.
I think they're
Firearms.
M1s. They're M1 carbines. There's just going to be a whole bunch of variants of this
Oh.
M1 carbine.
Yeah,
Interesting.
cool.
I didn't count those because I didn't know they were M1. So there's another.
Oh, a whole
Holy-
bunch.
Holy crap!
Yeah, a whole bunch. They're all M1s.
So you're probably like 650 M1s, 60 M1s.
Yeah.
So mostly
That's-
M1s. This is the M1 band.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
M1 carbine. M1 carbine band.
Thank
We don't
God.
Yeah,
see the
look at
M1
the last
brand in
one.
here.
You have your Volkswagen and you have your Volkswagen.
When I
So,
think,
People's guns.
downtown Toronto, shooters, I think World War One and World War II, battle rifles. That's where my head goes.
That is the thing.
Oak Sturmgewehr. Oh yeah.
The
The
People's Storm Rifle. Cool.
Oh yeah. It looks
That's
like something that would be made in a workshop that doesn't have a lot of stuff.
I was gonna say that looks like something I could make downstairs.
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
That's probably what it was for, because this is probably this is a
Yeah,
late war,
defense
February
rifle.
1945.
Yeah.
Late war.
Yeah.
All of our
Homeland
factories,
defense.
all their factories are bombed out. Now they're just
Yeah.
making what they can.
10,000 produced. That's not a lot.
No.
I'll bet you there's 4 here.
If
Yeah. So for the
if,
commenter who's
uh,
asking about the 1022, no, I don't think it includes a 1022.
They'll wait. Gotta
Yeah,
have something
yeah.
to take next time. They gotta have something to take next time. And then when they get done with us, they still won't be done, because then it'll be lever guns and pump actions. You already saw them mentioning it. The wording, the verbiage is already there. capable of rapid fire.
Rapid fire, just like Australia.
Yeah, that was exactly what Australia and New Zealand did. Anything that's capable of sustained rapid fire, because once they banned all the semi-autos, they needed rapid or semi-auto style.
Yeah. So Oscar, and for other people who are commenting, so if you're trying to match something up, if you're like, hey, the Tracker Arms HG 105, but I have a HEMA HG 105, just take your HG 105, go over to Armalytics and search it. So they haven't updated this website yet. You're not going to see the new prohibs on it. What you're going to find is what it's listed under. HG 105, the only listing I see here is under Tracker Arms, and it's listed manufacturer HEMA Arms. So yeah, even though it doesn't specifically list explicitly HEMA HG 105, it's in there, and they've got it as banned there.
And I believe in the Gazette it will tell you the FRN number as well.
Maybe.
Well,
I
we need
linked to
look
that.
up
I linked to
the
that
last one, though.
from this article. There's the official list. No, I don't see the official article
Hey.
number here.
You know what? We need to get on. We need to find some Winchester 1907s. They're still legal in Canada. Still listed non-restricted. That could be the gamer gun. You want to go shoot some 351 Winchester?
And you gotta
So-
have your Tommy gun front grip. If
Yeah,
the
let's
viewers, if
talk
you-
about some gamer guns. So, for everyone who's listening, we're like, oh, don't talk about that. You'll let them know. They have a
They know.
database. They have a
Yeah.
database about. They've specifically left some guns out of this list.
Yeah.
I like.
Well, they've got some of the things in this list I've never even heard of, so they know.
Yeah. I like Eugenie. I like this list was made by traumatized World War II Japanese soldiers. Yeah.
Or Whitey Bulger's relatives. I mean, somebody did shoot him with an M1 carbine in like 1950 something. So
Yeah.
So what's left? Like Tony was mentioning there, the Henry Homesteader, absent from the list.
Was FRT.
With an FRT as well, right? So they're specifically excluding that for now.
Marlin Camp carbines, if you can find one.
Really?
I haven't seen them listed anywhere. There's semi-auto 45. They're mag fed.
Were they Camp Carbine?
Yeah, see if you can find it in there.
Marlin?
Marlin Camp carbine.
Yeah, it's a Marlin. Using 1911 mags, but
Marlin 9. Oh, non-restricted. If it's the Marlin 9, it's still no. Well, no, non-restricted. Non-restricted or restricted based on barrel length. If it's the Marlin 9,
They make them
let's
45
see.
as well.
Yeah, Camp Carbine. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's still
Oh,
non-restricted.
look at that.
There you go.
That's Dave's
Something
going
I
to
didn't know,
the
Dave.
Dave's going to the 3-gun match with a camp carbine.
I've
with the
seen-
1911, so you have
I've-
interchangeable magazines, you know?
I've seen 2 of them in 30 years.
Really?
I don't think they were very common.
You
No.
know, even though I got caught up in yet another ban, it hasn't affected my ability to go. Even though I can't actually do the next 3-gun match because I'm going to be at a gun show that whole weekend. But it didn't affect my 3-gun loadout at all.
It almost did to mine. Like I was looking at my belt and being like, I'm gonna have to change this thing because they had them one. I have mine
Yeah,
set up
M1.
with
Yeah, you're
Garand.
like,
Yeah, am I gonna have to change this thing? I'm gonna have to go to 22 or a Bolty. I didn't have to. That
Nice.
part was nice. Yep.
Yay.
Nice 2K. You're saying you don't see the Crusader Arms Templar. Yeah, all AR 180 variants are prohibited. So even if
Yeah.
you don't see that one listed,
That's
it's because it doesn't have a
from-
FRT, or if it was under another FRT.
That'll be from December 2024 OIC. Oh my god, there's like 3 OICs now. Oh,
They're all over the place.
too much.
there's more
Yeah.
than 3, I
Gun
think.
bans than anyone's ever done in such a rapid period.
Really? May
Yeah.
2020 OIC, December 2024 OIC. Now there's the March
The
2025
the,
OIC.
the handgun ban was done by OIC too.
Well, now it's
Yeah.
written into law, isn't it?
Yeah, but it was still done by OIC.
Yeah.
Handgun freeze.
Yeah, originally
Deserve
was.
its own title, bigger title.
1911. I didn't see a 1911 in the list. Did you guys?
No.
1911.
No, I didn't see. Someone was saying 1911 9mm. I mean, all handguns are kind of prohib, but if you have them, you can take them to the range and that kind
Yeah,
of thing.
they're basically grandfather prohib day. Where like,
Yeah.
you know, if you have them, you can keep them. Screw you if you want a new
And we'll
one.
give you ATTs for now.
for now.
I think that's maybe why they did that, because they maybe couldn't figure out a way to just OIC ban handguns. So they
No.
just they just they don't want to.
Yeah.
I mean, dealing with laws is annoying, especially when you're a democratically elected government. Laws are frustrating.
Hey, how did it feel to vote for our next prime minister? I know not a lot of people got to do that.
I can't
You-
freaking because I can't get the app to work. I gotta
Oh my
uninstall the
God.
app and reinstall
You
it.
didn't
And
go
if you
in
don't,
person.
I did not. I was
Oh,
using the app because it was easy. But it
So
was not.
real little tangent. I got invited to because I am now a card carrying member of the Liberal Party of Canada. I got invited to my local federal Liberal MP's campaign office for their watch party on Sunday for the election of the new leader, and I cannot wait. That was the fastest accept RSVP I've ever done. I can't wait to go and have a conversation with other people there. Gonna
So,
be good.
Dustin, who'd you vote for? Probably Carney, right?
No, I
No?
definitely didn't
Oh.
vote for Carney. God help my soul, I voted for Christopher Freeland.
Yeah,
I,
Team
uh,
President, baby.
That is the best vote.
It
I
was the best
for
vote.
thought
those
Yeah.
there
listening.
was a ranked ballot.
I
Did you rank it at all?
no. The only
just went
good
for
way
it?
to get a rank ballot decision that you want is you vote for the one person that you want and fucking no one else. So yeah, I just voted for Christian.
Good man.
Yeah. So for everyone else out there, it's strategic. It's strategic.
I should do this. Oh, I got to come up with a way to do that. That's gonna be good. Yeah. Yeah. Be strategic. They know because the talking heads are like, yeah, there's like 400,000 people are registered, and we know that they're not all liberals. Like we know that there is some level of upset going on. So
You mean people legally participating in the democratic process?
not you, but some of us.
Well, not me. I always like when they're like, "Oh, you people are messing with democracy." I'm like, but that's literally how democracy works, fellas. Like,
Yeah.
you don't get voted for all the time by the people that you like. Like,
Yeah.
this is not it.
Yeah.
All
So
right,
people
so-
are asking about polling and that kind of thing. It's up in the air. Yeah. Since Trudeau resigned, it has been getting considerably better for the Liberals.
Just
Right
weird.
now, it's up in the air.
But look at the lines. It's funny. NDP lost the most.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
NDP took a giant dive.
Which is so funny because the Liberals slid to the right hard. Like they're mostly running on the same issues as the Conservatives are right now.
Yep.
Immigration. They're going to kill the carbon tax or reform it. Like
Yep.
all this stuff is very conservative, and yet you'd think the NDP would be gaining in votes, but I think the whole population's going right just because right
It's
now
strategic.
economy and trade are just so much more important that this other stuff doesn't matter.
I love all of the progressives lining up, excited to vote for another, multimillionaire, globalist, master of the universe. I don't have to work to take this job. I should be anointed leader kind of person. The irony is so sweet.
You mean that he's everything they claim to hate?
Yep, every single bit. And
He's
they're gonna vote for
literally a
him.
bank. He's a banker. Y'all
Yep.
hate bankers. I hate big
Yep.
business. I hate banks. Here's my vote. What?
Here's how the most recent polling's going. So there's our different polls, different dates, and that kind of thing, and where they're leaning. So it's still looking like it's a conservative lead right now. It's just not as strong as it was before. Before it was feeling pretty good over here.
Okay, but look here. Let's have real talk real quick. It was unnaturally high for where they were. This is still, for better or for worse, going to be a change election. Trump has made things more difficult for us. There has been rallying around the flag, but the aggregate, even now with multiple polls, the Liberals are still below the Conservatives, and the Conservatives still mostly in a majority territory lead. More worst case scenario would be them in a minority position.
Yeah, and I guess the other thing that's nice to see is that Carney just seems to lie all the time
All
for
the time.
no good reason.
Yeah.
About our economy's stronger than the U.S. or we supply most of
All
the
of their
semiconductors for the
semiconductors.
U.S.
What?
That's
Why would
not
you
true.
pull that out of your butt at a bar for no good upside for it?
And they are hiding him from the cameras and from the interviews as much as possible. That will not last if he does win and has to run an election. He will at some point have to talk to people.
His bit with Brookfield was the part that really got me.
I can't wait. That is going to be my favorite thing to go when I'm at the Liberal, the watch party. I can't wait to talk to people about how the company that he has shepherded for the last several years is responsible for 1 in 5 tax dollars been dodged, not made it into our economy, and how at the same time he's now supporting policy destroying an $8 billion industry that employs thousands and thousands of people that don't break the law or commit crimes.
For the people who are tuning in, what can they do with these guns right now?
Nothing.
They have something that's on the list.
Keep them at home. Keep them locked up via the previous classification. Kelly, I just cranked my mic up. I should be louder now. She just texted me. So yeah, keep them locked up at home. Don't get caught with them outside the house because you could go to jail forever.
Unless you're moving.
Like gang members.
Unless
you're
you're
moving.
If you're moving, you just move
Case,
according to
you're
whatever it
fine.
was before. If it was non-restricted, you just throw it in a case, or not. Don't even throw it in your case. You just throw it in your car.
Throw in the back seat.
Unloaded
Yeah.
is fine. If it's restricted,
Double
lock it
lock.
and trigger lock and
Lock,
case lock.
case.
But you don't need the ATT anymore.
No, they won't give it to
You're
you.
moving. Yeah, you can't get it. You just go.
I called and asked about AR-15s. They're like, yeah, just move them. I'm like, but like a couple of years ago, this was a horrible threat to humanity if I went to the post office to drop it off with an ATT. But now guys are like, nah, it was all bullshit. Just do whatever you want. Okay. Thanks.
Yeah. That's exactly where we're at. So yeah, you can't do anything with them.
You
The
can still
Henry
hunt with
Homesteader's
them
still
if
left?
you are native and you're using it for sustenance hunting.
Be careful.
But maybe don't. Because
That is not
could be
legal
getting
That
advice.
is not that is not recommended by Runkel, Ian Runkel. So we would advise against it unless you are in a dire situation that you might want to call the firearm program.
Indeed. Is this change anything for you guys? This is actually a lot less than I thought it was going to be. I was talking
Me
to someone
too.
last night, and he
I'm
was saying
thinking-
it's going to be all semi-autos. Anything that's mag-fed semi-autos. Even 22s.
I was bracing. I went and held my 1022 last night. I was like, I'm glad I shot you just this last weekend. Goodbye, my friend. We might not see each other for a moment. For real, I was prepared, because I got my folks too. Like they have a bunch of my guns, and I was like, oh great, I gotta send them a list of things that they can't take out anymore, because not like they're paying attention to the news the way I am either. So,
But I'm surprised that the Homesteader is a big surprise to me. Like somehow that narrowly
They're gonna-
escaped.
They're going to save it for the week after Carney gets
Which is
gets
fair.
put in.
I will bet you. I will bet you, if anything, Tony, that it just because the Homesteader is essentially brand new. I'll bet you whatever list they were operating on, maybe that
Might be
list
old.
got generated on just old enough that it just wasn't on there, right? Because it's a brand new gun in Canada. So
Well, the
that
other
would
one
be
we
weird.
were thinking
almost a
too
year
was
now.
the TM22. The
Yeah.
TM22 is very. It looks like an
Looks
AR,
like-
so we're
yeah.
thinking it would have gotten nailed, and it didn't, even though it's a 22.
Well, the SB22, right? Is everything 1022 compatible?
Yeah. 1022s. Yeah. Some people had said that as well. Yeah, I was talking to someone about that. I didn't think they would do the 1022, but
I
who
think
It's
knows,
too
right?
hot of a topic.
Maybe
It's a little too hot.
Everybody has one of those somewhere.
I was hoping. There was a part of
Belly
me. There was a part of. I know I'm sick, especially because it's not as certain a future as it was. I was kind of hoping that they were going to do them both the SKS and the 1022. That was going to make my weekend at the gun show so much easier.
Yeah.
Oh,
We just have a comment here. So someone was mentioning all semis, all mags with capacity of more than 5. Nope, that's not
not yet.
it.
They
No,
are.
There's
They have their sights on that.
Once
That
they
might be
simplify it.
Yeah.
That might be the announcement that they're planning on making next week, because they do have a magazine announcement they're planning on next week, or their intentions. I don't know, but
that's how they'll get the M1 Garand.
Sorry. They
yeah,
have
that's you're
5-round
not going to be able to
clips,
sell that new cool revolver rifle of yours.
Hey, I don't know any guns. I don't know what
You
you're talking
gotta
about.
you gotta weld one of your cylinders.
It's all airsoft.
Just a JPEG.
Yeah, this is the background. I'm in a
Yeah.
green room.
They're going to keep it up as they get closer to the election. They're going to keep
Yep.
trotting this stuff out because
They are.
a lot of the emails and announcements I get from them in there somewhere, it mentions they banned this and they banned that. So they're just going to keep it up.
Why hasn't anyone made an internal mag semi-auto that feeds strippers yet? Hey,
SKS
Keltec
made
did.
ones.
Keltec made a pistol that does
That's
that.
pistol.
What?
Yeah.
And I guess that's the SKS or M1 Garand.
Johnson.
Hmm.
Yeah, if you can
Yep.
find one of
The
those.
thing is, even this is such a quick development, so to speak. Since 2020, basically 5 years, we've went through 5-round/10-round magazine. AR-15 is okay to okay. Now AR-15 specifically is not okay, but a semi-automatic magfag is okay. To okay, semi-automatic magfag may or may not be okay. Most of the modern
Mostly not.
sporters are not okay.
Some are evil.
So really, from AR-180s being banned to now is only like 3 months. So again, gun development isn't a fast thing. Looking at Canadian gun development, it's even slower than that.
Mhm.
So it's if, for example, if Canada has solidified in kind of the Australia way, as in detachable magazine is a no-no, I bet someone's gonna come up with something like that, like maybe like similar to California, maybe. But I think
Yeah.
the demand isn't there right now.
Yeah.
I'm willing to bet if they simplify the classification system, they're just going to say no semi-autos, or at
Yeah.
least no semi-auto center fires.
Yeah.
Prohib. Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be their simplified.
Well, but
way.
I don't.
If
So
I
here's the
can
thing.
have
I don't
a
think that they,
30-inch AR,
I don't think
I
that
will
they
live
do,
with
Dave.
that.
Dave, I don't think that they can say no semi-autos because of the shotguns.
Could say
Like-
no center fire rifles. I mean, they could say whatever they want.
Well, I mean, they can say no semi-auto rifles, but even that would catch some shotguns. You're going to be able to beat them over the head with Grandpa Joe's, goose gun, because it's got a
Mhm.
it's got a threaded slug barrel for like. There's a world where like some of that stuff, some of those weird little edge cases. I mean, not that a semi-auto shotgun is exactly an edge case. There's lots of them. They've been around for 100 years, but I don't know. I don't know if it would be that easy for them to go after that, because there is actually a use case for semi-auto shotguns.
No, there isn't.
Well, never mind use case,
It's your
because like
pump gun.
there's a use case for Dave's semi-auto shotgun.
That's true.
It's just not. It's not the approved. Like it's not the one they like anymore.
It's,
It used to be that sports shooting used to be okay. Now it's just hunting. So
And they
and-
will literally do what they do. Why do you need 5 rounds in that gun? You're shooting a deer. You need 1 round. Oh no, I might need a follow-up shot. Okay, we'll give you a 1-round magazine. Like the whole need thing is they could get you down to a muzzle loader.
I completely agree. I mean, the need conversation is a losing, stupid argument, anyways, and you shouldn't have to justify need with someone who can't conceive of any of that anyway.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
March 2025.
I think they'll come after
I'm
all
just
the semis. It's just
a
matter
bunch of
time.
people are asking stuff
right
we've covered
the list
already.
again. Yeah.
So we're just showing the simplified. There's your simplified list: M1 carbine, Turkish bullpups, M19. I should just put that one under M1 carbine, right? And then
No.
some World War II semi-autos.
It's
Some,
not really
not
an
all.
M1 carbine.
So
No.
I just, I'm just gonna while you're saying that, Joseph posted a kind of negative comment here, and I'm just gonna call it out. Joseph, that's horrible attitude, terrible attitude, and that's loser talk, quitter talk, and like honestly, the conservatives have been in hyper majority territory for 2 years. The sentiment for time for a goddamn change is everywhere. It can be felt. Just go talk to humans. Don't listen to the stupid talking heads who are excited because now there might actually be some kind of interesting race. Some of it is fabricated. When you were talking about tiny little samples, like even like the best pollsters, and I listened to them all, and they're all like, yeah, like there's something maybe happening here a little bit, but some of these polls smell off, like whether or not it's like they've run into a weird little sample, like to justify this giant, enormous jump up. Or
They're asking a
some-
different question, Dustin. If you look at the question they're asking,
Yeah.
they're asking what leader you'd rather have,
yeah,
not which party you're going to vote for. So, like, yeah, some of the Ecos polls and that kind of thing are whack. They're not
manipulated.
representing how people. Well, it's a different question. It's a different data point. It's not who's going
But
to win
it's-
the election.
But it is a data point. It is, when I say it is manipulated, it is manipulated to get a specific answer to justify this like
Yes.
fervor of something might be happening. We could
It
talk
gets
about
more.
something.
It gets more clicks if the election's close. If it's a blow up, there's
Yes.
not going to be clicks, and
Yeah.
these pollsters don't get views, and the articles don't get views. If it's like, oh yeah, just another day, another CPC supermajority looking like here.
Okay, so I appreciate his follow-up comment here. You're ready for canvassing, and good for you. We're gonna need more folks like that. I'm gonna need more folks like that in this area. But like for real,
That's a
the
different
sentiment.
Joseph, but yeah,
Sorry.
that's a different Joseph.
There's two Josephs.
There's two
Oh,
Josephs.
oh, you're right. My
They
apologies.
can fight it. They balance each
It-
other out.
There can only be one.
Yeah.
I don't think that it's healthy to feed into that fear. I don't know.
And
Well, don't give up.
why not look at how should we still invest in crypto?
Which one?
I wouldn't. Mostly because if things change,
That was the best intro ever. I love that.
That was so
Hello, I'm here. Adriel's
if
dog
things
just announced
change,
itself like a rock star. It's funny.
you're going to be out of a gun, and then okay, let's say your gun gets prohibited. No big deal. It's just another one. But two ways this goes. One, the liberals win. And now your gun's gone. And maybe I don't know what our compensation is going to be. Probably garbage. And
40 cents
who
on the
knows?
dollar.
You could probably just wait anyways. But two, let's say the conservatives get in. Now ARs are unbanned. Do you still want that gun?
And now your crypto's worth nothing because no one
Yeah.
wants it.
Well,
so this is
less, just not nothing.
lot.
You'll still use it.
crypto
You'll
was
still
the
use it.
crypto was the perfect name for that rifle for that exact reason, because like it is a hedge for like okay, great, if you want a kind of functional semi-auto that if you get to decide if you keep it or not, that is up to you for sure. But if things go one way, the value of that goes to zero or close to zero, and if things go the other way, the value goes also close to zero. So I don't know. Buy high,
Not
sell
zero.
low seems like a mistake.
Not
Down
zero.
substantially.
$500, $600.
Yeah,
That's
no, for sure,
An
for
AR
sure.
goes for $500 or $600, and with a file, you can make that thing worth $500 or $600.
Can we talk about that for just 1 second? It annoys me so much that we are going to get maybe like 40 cents on the dollar by the time the liberals get done with us. And on top of it, it will be based on like 2020 prices, avoiding any, accounting for the massive inflation that guns are definitely worth more now. It's upsetting.
That's not the most annoying. The most annoying thing to me is how they're going to implement it, because there's many horrible ways this could be done. They could ask that we mail them in, and then they'll just pay us what they think they owe us, or they could ask us to register them with them, and so that we can figure out what our payment is.
You don't
There's
like the
lots-
idea of walking into an RCMP station with a fucking gun and saying, "Would you take this from me, please?" Because that
They're
sounds
fucking
like the
nothing but
idea
a
they want to go
receiver,
now.
man. I'm
now.
taking the barrel. I'm hanging it on my roof.
Yeah.
Like, make a chandelier out of it or something. I don't know. Make an art piece out of it.
I don't even care about the money, to be honest. The money's gone. I was never planning on retrieving that money. I was planning on shooting those guns and enjoying them. So I don't even give a shit about the money. Tell you the truth, I don't
care about
care.
I care about some of the money. Some
can
of my
make a profit
guns,
out of it.
like a lot of my guns, I wasn't like emotionally connected to. I have a pretty big gun collection for someone my age, and a lot of them were about like I was making really good money at a period of my life, and it was a market I understood well and had been stable for 20 years. And so like I bought a lot of things cheap and was like, oh, this will only be worth more money. And had the liberals not screwed with things, would be.
I was talking to a fellow a while ago, kind of about your age, Dustin, and that dude has 80 some odd grand worth of prohibited rifles right now because he was doing the same thing. He bought a bunch of high end guns because he knew they'd be worth more, and now they're worth $0. And he is pissed because that's like all the spending money. It's what he did. That was his investments. He didn't invest in his RSP or anything. He bought guns.
I mean, I did
It's a
invest.
good investment. It always goes up.
Well, that
Kelly's
was
mentioning. Some people have been asking about so they did seize some guns from businesses, 7,000.
7,000. That's what they
haven't
say.
paid out a cent.
Many of these small businesses like went out of business
Yeah.
during COVID and that kind of thing. They couldn't hang on. They were stuck with inventory, so they had to give them back to the government. So that's what that seized number is coming from. Likely is mostly those vendors. They haven't paid back any of them
No,
yet.
none, not a one. Haven't cut a.
That's on the
single check.
business. That's the business side. That's easy. Those are all like those are all like tracked.
Registered
We
on the
know where
books.
those
Should
are
just
all.
be a cut a check situation. The fact that they haven't tells you how disingenuous that they are.
Or
No,
just
I
they didn't
realize-
actually have a plan for that. They're like, oh crap, we got the guns back, huh. Or got the guns. Huh. Did anybody talk to accounting about that?
Well,
And they're like, oh yeah, we
I
should
mean,
do
even
that.
like even that makes me so upset. Like, yeah, we've confiscated 7,000 guns. Oh, from businesses that you destroyed.
Yeah.
From functional, small, personally run family businesses that you destroyed and people that you put in the unemployment line, and you didn't pay for those guns. So the buyback's working great.
A, mission accomplished, and B, thank God those are off the streets, quote unquote.
I cannot wait for Sunday.
Yeah, you should film the
That's
whole
true.
thing. Totally.
All right,
film
I
it.
gotta
Alright,
come up
other
with a
than
way
that-
to do it, like to have a hidden camera or something, or at least
big
I don't
hat.
know.
Big
No,
sombrero.
Yeah.
you need the
Have
just
a-
the
have-
pocket,
yeah, have a
just the
pocket and
pocket,
have a
and you just
phone,
throw
yeah.
your cell phone in it like that.
Have you guys seen how I dress? What about anything that I own makes you think that I would have a shirt with a pocket to put my phone
I
in?
don't
Okay,
know.
hidden
Maybe
camera
you try
in
to
your
cosplay
hair.
some people. They
A
have
hidden camera in the
proper
hair.
pocket.
Yeah, it's
You
good.
sew a pocket on something.
Yeah, I might have to see if I can get like a hidden camera from like Amazon quickly.
Very
Just
quickly.
use
Yeah.
a regular. Does they
Overnight.
say no camera in there or something?
I mean, if you
No.
walk in with a monster camcorder,
No, but we are
Say
a
something.
single party consent state, which means I don't need the permission of anybody else to record them as long as
That's
I know
true.
I'm recording them.
Yeah.
You'd probably be fine walking in with a big camcorder. They'd be like, oh,
They would
Just get a
ask me
media
to
badge.
leave, right? Like they will ask me to leave if I'm intentionally recording it. And I
No.
really want to go have a conversation with Terry. Just
no, I
really,
bet you show up with a camera and a microphone, and they'll just let you in.
get a
you're
media
not
badge.
wrong. I do have the right hair. Well, all right. So here's the problem: is that it is the local event for my local MP, and he knows me really well. So
yeah.
it will already be impressive if I'm not asked to leave early.
You'd be like James Bond, like walking into like a meeting of the bad guys. They're like, wait a minute,
Yeah,
I know that guy.
yeah, it'll be great.
Yeah.
But I am really looking forward to just getting to talk to people. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, what is wrong with you people? Sweet Jesus.
Yeah, I'm just.
Anybody else here just an angry gun owner? All of us? Cool.
I just we all had a couple of guns banned, right? Let's see.
Did you,
Dave? You
Tony?
mentioned a couple. We don't say numbers.
No, just
Yes.
Well, my collection is too small. I actually don't.
Oh,
Tony.
Oh,
I
Tony.
lucked out. I lucked
Slack
out.
it.
slacking. You're slacking. You're not flying close enough to the sun.
Well,
Now you need to get a
Connor
homesteader.
and
And be
Cody
Icarus
thinks
with the
I'm
rest of
flying
us.
too close to the sun. And for Connor's question, I'm running a PR, so there are ROs who are confused at what I'm doing. So I can tell you, there's gonna be police officers who is gonna be confused about what I'm doing. What's he doing? What's his head?
they
Well,
will go after them.
Well, Cody,
Maybe.
if we end up being like freaking Australia or something, you can't have something that looks like a quote unquote assault rifle, apparently. So, like,
No.
bolt guns with pistol grips are off the table, baby.
Did you guys hear the language that they mentioned? They said rapid fire.
Rapid fire,
Capable of
sustained
Fire.
rapid
They didn't
fire.
say they said semi-auto, and then afterwards they said
Yeah.
rapid fire. Experts have determined these are too dangerous for civilians to use. And it's like,
Who's
okay, well-
determining this? Top
Yeah.
men.
Yes.
top men.
Watch Tony's IPSC video. He's shooting really fast with that gun.
Yeah. Well, I mean, a lot of other countries have prohibited basically any repeater.
Yep.
Like you can't, like Australia, some of
Levers,
those other
pumps,
countries,
pump
cannon lever,
shotguns.
can't go to pump
Australia,
shotgun.
New Zealand, the UK,
Yeah.
all of them. That's pretty much non-existent. Japan, like you can't own anything over beyond an over/under.
what about a side by side? Maybe for Abe there.
Side by sides are fine.
That's
The
rapid
English
fire,
doctors-
right? One, two.
English
Well,
doctors use them.
the guy who assassinated Shinzo Abe had a
Had a-
side-
Twin tube.
Yeah. Well, he also
Explosion.
had like a 9-round homemade blunderbuss that he had made. So and my big question about all of these gun bans, and maybe you all can answer it, because I didn't catch it. Any of these OICs, have any one of them made it harder for somebody to rent a van?
Well, someone was asking, hey, out of these banned guns, how many of them have been used in crimes? And that's a really difficult question to answer because they weren't really used a lot in crimes before. AR-15s we've had
Yeah.
since the 1960s.
A guy got his finger
There's-
shot off with one.
What's that?
A guy got his finger shot off with one in Saskatoon in the 90s.
Is that a crime or is that was
It
that
was
an
a-
accident?
No, he barricaded himself in a house.
Ah, I
and
see.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think he accidentally shot his own finger off with it, and then the cops went and shot him. But
Ouch.
Good.
yeah,
Yeah, no. So they haven't really been used in crime in the
No,
2000s and up.
no, because they're 3
No.
feet long.
Well, and they're restricted. They're the
they're
requirements for
restricted,
owning them and what you can do with them is very restrictive. So no,
Well, I
they
mean,
don't really get used. in
Not
crime.
that the type of gun matters, and I don't like getting into that
No.
argument.
No, it doesn't.
These are
Well,
used
the
by
price
mass
does.
murderers.
but that's what that's why I ask about the van, because like if this hasn't banned my ability to go rent a van for $20 and a credit card, I can still achieve the exact same level of mayhem as any
Mhm.
firearm has ever in Canada.
Biggest mass
Or any
killing I
kind
know
of,
of in Toronto was with a van.
Pressurized vessel,
Fighter.
you know? Those type things.
No,
Don't-
talking about that.
No, don't talk about that.
Yeah,
no,
that'll
no.
get
The
us-
vans.
That'll
Let's
get
not
us
talk
all
about
the
vans.
All the
Just-
bands, Tony. All the bands.
Like it's just the argument is absolute nonsense because you can't stop the violence. Like like
No.
you're saying I want to ban this thing because it'll make us safer. Well, is it going to stop the violence? No, then it won't make you
Not at all.
safer.
No.
Well, not at all, because most of the firearms used in like gang homicides and that
They're
kind
all-
of thing are handguns that are smuggled in from the U.S.
Yeah.
right now.
Well,
Like,
that's
it
why I
does-
wanted to ask about those statistics, because she was super happy because like they hid the statistics for the 2 years that there was giant, huge go up while they're banning things. Like no, all of a sudden the statistics aren't coming out, like to the point where Tracy was threatening suing the government to get the statistics out, and then they magically came out. But they've been happy to trot them out this year. Like, oh no, gun number go down a little bit.
A little bit, just in the last year.
Because they
Like
even
it's
Yeah.
not
to
statistically
Pre
significant.
2020
But-
level.
But so that's the thing. Number go down a little bit from an all-time high.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
then,
within the last 10 years or whatever.
and then the question, oh yeah, it's true. It used to be
Mhm.
higher in the 70s and such. But anyway, it's like it from an all-time high in the last like 10, 20 years even, number go down a little bit, but
Yeah.
how
Declare
much of that number are you responsible for?
a lot of it's like there was so much anarchy during COVID, and then afterwards, like things are starting to smooth out a little
Yeah.
bit. Someone's asking about new production M1 Garands. So surprisingly, you wouldn't see clones, but we are going to see is there's guys who are doing receiver build kits, and those are great. I have one of those. It's an old receiver, new barrel, new stock, and some old other parts. But the barrel is the nice part, and the stock, like having a nice new stock on that thing is really nice.
Yeah.
Yes, it doesn't have the collector's value, but I'm going to shoot it tomorrow at a match. It's going to be great.
Going back
For
to
now.
our point about the government saying stupid things, when gun licenses had been increasing for years on end during the handgun ban, the handgun freeze, I think it was Bill Blair was trotted out, and he said, gun violence is up and firearms licenses are up in Canada.
Yep.
Those two things are not related, but he's quite happy to make a correlation between
Yeah.
them.
Correlation does not equal causation.
It does not. And you
but
literally
he's trying
could
to make
say
it so.
people are eating more avocados and more people in Toronto are shooting each other with illegal handguns. Therefore, avocados
Avocado
equals
bad.
handguns.
Mhm.
So this government is horribly dishonest.
Because those avocados are produced in Mexico. You see the logic?
There you go.
The Mexico cartel thoughts are being imported into Canada via avocados.
The avocado mind control. But these people are horribly dishonest. And it's like when they list statistics and they'll list a percentage, but no numbers.
No.
I'm like, what's the actual number? Oh, this is up by 50%. So 1.5? Like you
Mhm.
need if somebody ever gives you statistics or numbers, get the number and get the percentage. Those are both very important.
Get the whole graph.
The whole
Yeah,
graph, because
without
if
the
you,
graph, it's
yeah,
incomplete.
and really most people, like, if you present them with a graph, they don't know what they're looking at. They don't know, like, oh well, it was doing this and now it did that. But like that, look at the whole thing. It's spiky. It's moving like that. So for it to go down this year is like, that's not
It's a
any
blip.
trend. That's nothing. And because after the 2020 ban, all firearms crime went up. It wasn't anything to do with that firearms ban. Actually, it wasn't that the firearms ban made more people kill each other with guns. It's
No.
COVID, it's joblessness, it's fentanyl crisis, it's all these other things that are just actually important. The ban by name thing doesn't do anything. It's not peer reviewed. It's not something that's going to work. The peer reviewed stuff, there is firearms legislation that is impactful on homicide and suicides and that kind of thing. It's not going to be a per gun ban. It's going to be licensing some form of red flag legislation. Not that we like it, but facts
Having
are
a
facts.
hotline being reachable.
A hotline
Actually
being
do
reachable.
something when there's
Doing something.
reports.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
not letting
How many
people out who
times?
kill people out of jail, maybe keeping them locked up. Because I think it was 30% of the murders in Ontario last year, they were out on bail.
Yeah, yeah. Those are all good points. Yeah, I mean, these are more impactful than these like gun by gun bans. These do absolutely nothing. It's you cannot measure it in the statistics. Once you've got your variables accounted for, you can't measure the impact of this stuff. It's too small.
No, Kalen Langman did a good study there a couple of years ago that was peer reviewed, where he actually took and he put a chart out, and here's all the gun laws, here's all the violence in Canada, and there is absolutely no difference like that you can map against a gun law. Because if a gun law worked, you would think in theory within however long, let's say a year, you would see some sort of movement that you could track back to it. But there isn't. Like it's like looking at two completely separate charts, because gun laws and crime are, generally speaking, not related, especially all the politically driven bullshit laws that we've had since the 70s, actually.
Well, if you look at carry laws in the States, that it's actually a fantastic natural experiment where, like, practically randomly, states enacted these shall issue carry permits, and a whole bunch of people are now armed. And you think like, oh my God, well, either okay, if you're super pro gun, you're like, oh, more people with guns, good, politer society. There's going to be less murders. If you're anti-gun, you say, oh my God, all these people who are running around with handguns, we're going to see we're going to see blood on the streets. And the reality is neither. It's like, it just doesn't like play out in the stats. The stats are like, it's just inconsequential to
I'm not
to that.
sure about the stats in Ohio, but I don't know if it's peer review or not, but they did see a decrease after constitutional carry was
so with the numbers that you're playing with, they're not super statistically significant. So you need to use multiple states to get something that's like a meaningful insight out of that. That seems silly, right? It seems like, well, you'd be able to see it, no problem. You can't. So you need to look at multiple states. You need to blend them together, and then come to the realization, man, this shit doesn't matter.
No, there's actually a really good article,
right?
Really good article about that by a guy, and I love this dude. He's hand waving freak outery. And he's hwfo.substack.com, and he's a statistics guy. So he's got one called Everybody's Lying About the Link Between Gun Ownership and Homicide. And he like takes all the stats and like builds these beautiful charts and stuff. He's freaking on. He's a great website.
Do you have that article up?
I do actually.
Can you share your screen just to show, like, we've got 120 listeners. Let's just show them that article, because I think it's a good one. I think that on the anti-gun side, there's some rhetoric and hyperbole being used about this stuff. I think the same thing's on the pro-gun side. I think a lot of people say like, oh, more guns equals less crime. It might, but it might also not. And I think like the boring reality is that none of this stuff really matters to the stats that you think that they're going to affect.
I don't know what screen I'm going to share. Let's see.
You can do a window. Or a tab.
That's not the one.
Joseph's asking how much those M1 builds cost. I think they're around 23 to 2,500, somewhere around there.
2.5, 3 grand.
If you get one in 308.
Yeah,
Get the 308
absolutely.
because then you can use that Norinco 308 or the PMC 308, and it's way cheaper than 30.6.
PM3. That's a good choice.
Okay, can you guys see the article?
Now we can. Yeah.
Hey, I got it right. So yeah, this dude, this is an old one. He did it in 2018, but it is still true today. Gun ownership doesn't make us safer, doesn't make us any less safer. It just doesn't matter. So this is all about how everyone's lying about it, where, you know, the Second Amendment
everyone's
people are
seen
like,
that.
everyone will be safe. And then the anti-gun people are, oh my God, the streets will run with blood if we don't do this. It doesn't make any difference because people
That's-
don't generally just run around shooting each other. Except
Yeah,
criminals.
that scatter plot, Dave. Lots of people like to show that one and then show like the US on there and be like, oh my God, it's up here and it's going up and that kind of thing. But yeah.
Meh.
Once you don't select, once you take out that selection bias, all of a sudden the correlation effect is not very good. Like that's a very weak correlation there. Very
Yeah.
weak.
No,
R.0031, that's crap. Yeah.
exactly. And the Canadian one would look much the same, where we have ever increasing number of licensed gun owners, and well, the homicide rate's been going up, but that's because gang members are shooting each other. It's incredible.
And like after COVID, like, you know, they had to, you know, let loose a little bit and do some crazy stuff and refigure out like who owns what and what's going on. Like there's been some weird gang stuff been going on here in Edmonton. And I know there's been some weird stuff in some of the other cities where there's like brand new things like, oh, now we're going to extort home builders and we're going to and towing companies in Toronto are going to start shooting each other up because it's a huge racket and they want ownership of this huge racket. It's like, oh, maybe you guys should like figure out that towing truck thing, not the towing truck gangs necessarily, but it sounds like towing itself is a racket.
Yeah, there's some chick got killed. So there's a hit on a house. Apparently, that house in Toronto, she died, I think, on the weekend or something.
Heard about that.
Yeah, and her boyfriend got shot. But they've had people attack their house like 7 times in the last couple of years, 3 years. And they finally managed to kill one of them.
How come nobody attacks my house?
Today's the day. What am
Finally happened.
You fools.
Yeah. So here's a good one by country. So, you know, Honduras has a remarkably high homicide rate and has remarkably no guns per citizen that are
It's interesting.
legal.
Yeah.
Like Mexico, Venezuela,
El
Swaziland.
Salvador used to be at the top of that list. And
Yeah,
you know
they
what El
dropped.
Salvador did? They put all the criminals in jail. Everyone is like, oh, you so much as have a tattoo for one of those gangs. You're going to jail.
Wow.
They just threw them all in jail. And their murder rate is like it's all the way down now.
My big concern, and I think I echoed this on the last emergency episode, the long-term damage, even if we do win, which I truly believe we will, and I think everybody should hold on to that sentiment, do your best to, you know, make that a reality, right? Get people to vote, volunteer in any way you can. That is coming soon. But my big fear is actually the long-term damage that this does to the law-abiding community. There is definitely a sentiment out there right now of like they've broken the I know it's like kind of lame to say, but they have actually broken the social contract with folks. You know, an entire community that used to self-regulate, and now like we've self-regulated and agreed that okay, even though these rules are stupid, we will hold all of each other accountable to them because like they leave us alone. Well, they've stopped leaving us alone. So why am I following that magazine capacity rule again? Like, you know, why am I only taking this gun to the range when I'm out in the bush and nobody is around to see me use it? And then it gets worse from there. And that actually does worry me. That's the long-term damage that they've done that they don't appreciate that they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if laws are ridiculous and you know they're ridiculous, why would people obey them? And then that gets you thinking. And this is the thing with me. The more I know about our firearms laws, the more I realize how ridiculous and purely politically motivated there are. And in fact, they get people killed because they're taking money and time and everything and directing it to absolutely the wrong period. And they know it, which is the worst thing to me. What else are they doing with that? I suspect that it is probably an awful lot.
Speaking of, I just saw a tweet from Ian Runkle. He's saying RCMP say they're going to require Canadian gun owners to attend at RCMP detachments with their firearms.
Saw that.
A long drive. I'd
Yeah,
wish.
where is one? Jeez.
No, don't worry.
Ottawa?
Ontario police will gladly take your
Ottawa?
gun, Dave.
So
Oh, true. OPP. Right.
hmm
so I have a funny, real quick. I know we're running out of time. Funny story about that. My grandfather, he had this one like 22 varmint rifle that it had been broken for years. It was sitting in a corner. He didn't really care to fix it, and I don't know why he didn't give it to me because I would have fixed it. But anyway, just like one of a million things. And he's like, just gonna get rid of this. So he took it to the local police detachment to surrender it, and they didn't know what to do with it. They sent him home with it. They were like, we don't have the paperwork required to take that from you right now. So you need to take it with you and call and make an appointment when we know what to do with it.
Go commit a crime with it, and then we'll
Well,
show up and
like-
seize the gun.
You know, it was a literally that was the thing. They were like, if you were a criminal, we could take it then. But there was a piece of paperwork that his local detachment did not have to allow them to like for him to like surrender this gun to them, which was hilarious. So
Yeah, no one's
Yeah.
ever done this. No one's ever
Yeah.
been dumb enough to do this before.
Why would
Literally,
I
he was
don't
the
know,
only
why would
one.
you surrender firearms, right?
I
Oh,
have
the
had
parts.
multiple people call me because someone died usually and
Yep.
said, "Hey, they've got all these guns. How do we turn them into the police?" You don't ever.
Yep.
Period. Why would you do that? And
Right?
I've got a guy I know in Toronto who's a cop, and he says happens all the time down there. And if he's lucky, he's the one who goes out to the call because he will go tell the widow, "Hey, you can keep these for as long as you need to sell them. Oh, and that shotgun on the wall is worth $150,000 because he's had some of those."
God,
Wow.
Yeah, or like old collector's pieces, like old stuff that's actually
Gotta-
worth money,
Gotta
like
write your
cowboy-
will correctly.
cowboy guns. And yeah, like if you have guns, have a piece of paper to your family members, explain what to do when you die.
I
Oh,
actually,
tell
Ian's
tell
supposed to
them
do a
where
video
the
on
bolts are. Tell them where all the ammo is. Don't hide the bolts in the ceiling or the wall or something like that.
so really,
I'll talk to you guys after the show about that.
Yeah, no, that's legitimate. No, like I was gonna say, really funny. I actually have put it in my will who gets ownership of my business. So like that'll get transferred over to a specific person. And then also instructions for one of you that some family members are to talk to for the things that do need to get sold so they don't get sold for
Way
nothing.
undervalue.
Yeah. Like, but anyway,
Get sold for what you said they cost.
Tyler can never know.
It's okay, buddy. You won them all in a truth-telling contest 3 towns over.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. We said we'd take an hour. We're at an hour.
We did
Anything
it.
else to mention, you guys?
Stay
They're not
positive.
gonna win. They're not gonna win.
Recap, I guess. Do we do a recap? M1, M1
Uh,
carbine.
I've got
Everything's-
an article
everything's
on
banned.
It's on the article,
huntinggearguy.com. I got an article over there that'll cover the basics. We'll probably talk about this more at the next Slamfire. Listen to Slamfire Radio. It's a great podcast. We talk about guns every week. We've done that for over 10 years.
Wild.
Vote conservative, I guess. And chill
Get
out
out
and
and
wait.
vote.
Get your
Get out-
family
make-
to
make
get
your
out and
Family
vote.
to vote. Yeah.
Yeah.
Stay
See you guys.
positive.
Cool. All right. Later, everyone.
Night, everybody.